Get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, and I'm back, kind of, hopefully, touch wood. I've reinstalled Windows, I've reinstalled most of the essentials that I need for actually recording videos once more, and you'll know I've actually been playing World of Tanks in the last couple of days. I've just been getting other things set up on the computer, so it's the downloading stuff that takes a long time with my internet connection. But I'm back, hopefully. If it all behaves itself, then yeah, that's good news. If it doesn't, that's bad news, and that might mean I've got basically hardware incompatibilities somewhere, at which point things get a bit more expensive. So I don't know, we'll see, only time will tell. So this is my Death Star Ace Tanker game, and this is from about a week and a half ago maybe? It's probably just before my PC troubles started. This is all obviously post-nerf. This is a 9.2 game, and I had about 2 days worth of battles before the nerf, and I actually recorded a video before the patch came in. And yeah, the nerf was needed. I mean, it really was. Even just playing it for 2 days, even just playing it for 5 minutes, the Hesh was just horribly OP. For Wargaming to turn around and go, but we didn't realise everyone would shoot Hesh. Yeah, right. Pull the other one, it has bells on, to quote Terry Pratchett. So you can still be a dangerous tank, you can still be effective, but as you can see, I've been experimenting with my ammo loadout somewhat. So I've got 4 AP, 3 HE, and 5 Hesh. Now this is one of those tanks where actually you want to use different ammo for different situations, but because you've got a 25-second plus reload time, you don't always have time to... It's guesswork. You have to guess which ammo type that you might need next. Hesh is still kind of like the safe bet, and that's why I've got most, most of my shells are Hesh. Well, not most, but the majority. The most of any type I've got are Hesh, is what I'm trying to say here. Because you've still got a fairly limited ammo count with this. Hesh is kind of like, if it pens, then, oh boy, you can still do a lot of damage. Although Circon reckons that the damage rolls are less these days. I don't know how Wargaming would have tweaked that, but I don't know. But that's his theory anyway. I've started off this battle with AP, as you can see. But the AP is actually, in a lot of situations these days, AP is going to give you more damage, especially against some more heavily armoured targets. But the thing working against AP is that you've only got 0.4 accuracy, and you still have a long aim time. So there we go, I just did 1100 damage, and the E50M naturally pops out to shoot me. I was fairly sure I was going to take a hit doing that, but that's one of their tier 8s out of commission. And as you can see from the team list, by the way, this is dream matchmaking. It would have been even more dream matchmaking with the old FV, but this is still pretty good for any tier 10. Most of the teams are tier 8s. And there's 2 tier 9s per side and 2 tier 10s, which kind of sucks for all the tier 8s, and it's quite nice for all the tier 10s. So there's a Rhymotol in the middle. I've still got AP. HE might be better, because I could splash, even if I miss. But no, okay. Take the Rhymotol. Yeah. RN Jesus just stole my shell. I want my credits back on that shot. The reticle was just barely clipping the edge of the building, just barely touching it, and that's where the shell went. So that shell basically went to its maximum possible deviation and straight into the building. It wasn't even that I, landed a shot near the Rhymotol. It's just, no, that was about as far wild as it could be. That's, I don't know, I want my money back, is what I'm saying here. So 5120's up there, he's just taking a pot shot at me. Presumably he just popped out and fired through that gap in the wall and then popped back in again. I'm pretty sure brick walls block vision, and presumably he just popped out in the space between vision checks and fired very quickly, just took a snapshot at me. Because if he just sat there and aimed and aimed and aimed, surely I would have seen him. But on the other hand, the spotting system in this game is sometimes, even if you've read up on the mechanics, it can be really confusing. You occasionally get situations where you just think, how is that person not spotted, or how did I get spotted? I don't know. See, now there we go. He fired again, and I still can't see him. And I've got 400 plus meters view range. Now that blind shot was just stupid. I thought he might still be there. I'm just not spotting him. I shouldn't have fired. It's a bit like artillery in that regard, in that you can't afford to waste shots like that very often. I don't have the shells to waste, and I just wasted one. Or the Jagdpanzer E100 is probably a better comparison, because again, that has a very long reload. So he's going to be a problem potentially, and oh, this is such a risky shot. This is so risky. Oh my god. Fully aimed. Oh, yes! Okay. So RNG's has stole that one shell off me, but he then went, oh, okay, here, have this kill instead. So, I don't know, I guess it worked out. Anyway, my last AP shell. And that 30 looks like he's just, I don't know, he's pushing a bit. If I could get the 5120, that would be really helpful. He's taking some punishment anyway, but he's also dishing out some punishment. I think, yeah. I don't know, it's weird, that Tiger 2 looks like he got shot in the ass there, I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah, hi 30, bye 30. He took a hit before I hit him, and I only got 732 out of that, but still, yeah, his frontal armor was no match for the 310 pen on the AP shells. And the thing is, with the AP especially, it's you want to use it for close range work, because with point poor accuracy, or even 0.4 accuracy, wow, this gun is a bit of a blunderbuss. And it's funny because you go from the scalpel-like precision of the L1A1 120mm gun on the Torty, and then you just have this massive blunderbuss. And with the Hesh, that didn't matter so much. The old Hesh, because you could just pull the trigger and bam, it would probably pen. That was a waste of a shell. I should have let somebody else take that kill. But no, again, I don't know. I thought we had this, but I wasn't really paying attention to the minimap. Our other tier 10 died in the valley. There's a T-34, a Jagdpanzer E100 there. The T-28 Pro is as yet unspotted, so he's either AFK or, I don't know, he might be hiding along the back line, maybe? Or he might be by the cap. We just don't know where that guy is. There's also another T-34 that's unaccounted for. So I'm being a bit cautious of the 5120, because if I, fired and missed at him, he could just take me apart. But he's fallen back, he's used his speed, which is really what you should be doing in a 5120. If it all goes pear-shaped, you relocate, you pull back, you play like a medium tank, basically. So I'm being a bit cautious here. I don't want to just plough round, because the Jagdpanzer E100 is probably going to be looking this way now. But we at least have control of the middle with the Object 704. And there's that other T-34 who actually was camping the A line. He might not have been there the whole time because he already had a kill. He might have relocated to that point. And again, did I need to take that shot? Actually, no, I didn't. I get lucky and bounce a 5120 shell there, but yeah, at least it was only an HE shell, or was that Hesh? No, that was Hesh. So yeah, again, that was a waste of a shell. I should have let somebody else take that kill. I don't know, getting a bit greedy at this point. Maybe I just I really wanted a Top Gun. I don't know. 5100's down, and this is kind of tricky. They're in a really good defensive position. We can't see the T-34, but he's probably still there as well. This Hesh is not going to pen the Jagdpanzer E100. It was going to hit his superstructure, but still, that's nearly 700 damage, and I'm going to switch to HE at this point. Because when you're firing at range these days, you might as well use HE. The chances of the Hesh penning, unless it's a really thinly armoured target, like, a Leopard PTA or a French tank, you might as well just use HE, because you're going to do the same amount of damage for a lot less credit, and it matters less if you miss. You can save your Hesh for more important things, like shooting 300 health T-34s, for instance. Yeah. It's one of those battles where you look at it in hindsight and think, yeah, no, I wasn't managing my limited stock of ammo very well here at all. But in the heat of battle, maybe you're not thinking about these things so much, and clearly I wasn't, because that was 2 kills that I had there. Oh, sorry. Bashed my headset there. That was 2 kills that I really didn't need to actually, I could have saved my shells for more important targets. So the T-34, as it turns out, was not camping near their cap. The Protters died to the 704, and that's fine, but the T-34 was actually really sneaky. He drove through the valley and came up behind and did it without going across the cap circle, so we had no idea he was going to do that. Now, he could have actually gone and sat on the cap, and yeah, 0.4 accuracy, this is not a sniper. He went and sat there, and he could have gone on the cap circle, but instead he decided he was going to sit there and actually try and hit us from the middle. Now, he doesn't have the view range on T-34. He might have binoculars or something, I don't know. But this is now a tricky situation because we can't push. The Jagdpanzer 100 is probably going to spot us if we try and get across the open ground. The T-34 is possibly close enough to spot also, but doesn't matter about the Jagdpanzer. He's actually coming to us. He's coming to us. That is absolutely true. Now, he's just fired. I'm going to pop out and take a shot at him, and this is my last hair shell. Low front plate. Yeah, he's got an automatic fire extinguisher. So that was only 600 odd damage there. That wasn't even close to, you know, hurting him. I might have damaged a module or two, but yeah. In the old days, that would have been, you know, getting his lower front plate, that would have been a kill. If it had been AP, that would have done more damage. But I'm out of AP at this point. I'm just backing up behind this building. He panic fires and misses. I've got HE left now. Low front plate again. And it actually goes underneath him. But it splashes up through his bottom plate. His underneath armour. And that bounce. And actually, you know, it splashes up into his tank and does 700 damage. So I've got one HE shell left. And this is the point in the battle where I was really wishing I hadn't wasted those shells earlier. And it would have been nice if RNGesus hadn't stole that one shot from me as well, that one AP shell. That would have been really useful at this point. Anyway, all I've got left now, apart from this one HE shell, which, you know, if it hits the T-34, might be enough to one-shot him, are my hit points and my view range. Now, I don't think I've got vision equipment on. I probably had a toolbox. I've been training up this crew. I mean, I started off a fresh crew on this, and I'm gonna get them repairs on their second crew skill, and then maybe like Brothers in Arms or something. But yeah, I don't yet know whether I want to put vents or optics in that final slot. Optics is probably going to be more useful in a lot of situations, although vents will give you a slight edge on reload and other things. But this is a kind of a situation where, yeah, I could be really shy, and yeah, that was such a snapshot. I mean, it did some damage, but it clearly didn't hit his hull. That was into the turret. This is a situation where you could just cower and go, right, well, shrug my shoulders, I've got no ammo left, it's up to this KV-4 now. But actually, no, you do still have assets. You have your hit points and you have your view range. So I'm now going to just spot this T-34 for the KV-4. And the KV-4, I haven't looked back at him in a while, but he's low health. And there we go, he gets the kill. So I basically could not have done this without that KV-4. So kudos to Ezio7 there, who basically ensured that this would be a win. I didn't take all the right decisions in that one by any means. I had some luck, I had some bad luck, but at the end of the day I walked away with 5,393 damage and 5 kills, and I really didn't need to have those 5 kills. 2 of those were so low health that frankly it was just a waste of a shell, and I really needed those shells at the end there. But nonetheless, it worked out. It was lucky that it worked out, but it worked out. So that was Ace Tanker, High Caliber, Steel Wall, top score. So, I don't know, I wasn't expecting that to be an ace, to be honest. 1,130 XP. It seems kind of low for an ace tanker. And I know tier 10 ace tankers are generally, I want to say, easier to get. They have lower XP requirements than tier 9s, because tier 9s you can shoot higher tier tanks still, and you get an XP boost, or even a boost for that. Wow. I am just full of the, you know, speaking well today, apparently. But for the tier 10s, you are only ever shooting at same or lower tiers, so, you know. That KV-4, 4th on the team, he didn't do that much damage, but crucially, he was alive at the end there, and he did really well taking down that Jagdpanzer 100. I don't know, I presume he was shooting premium ammo. You would in that situation, because that's a real crunch situation. I don't know if he was trying for the lower front plate, because would you in that kind of, you know, I don't know. But either he hit the lower front plate and got lucky, or he actually hit the top of the tank. And actually, you know, you can either penetrate the roof depending on the angle, or there is actually a kind of a little MG, you know, I don't know what to call it. There's a little hat on the Jagdpanzer E100 that you can actually pen that is a kind of a weak spot. On the enemy team, it was the T-34 that did the best, and he actually came out on the top of their team. 864 damage, base XP on a defeat. You know, that's damn respectable. You know, kudos to that guy. He tried his best, and he did something really unexpected there. He actually went in the middle, and maybe he should have capped. In hindsight, yeah, it's easy to say that, but I don't know. Potentially, I could have driven back in time. Maybe, maybe not. We'll never know at this point. So, yeah, we won, and despite my derpiness, you know, at times, and despite the gun's derpiness, you know, I feel RNGesus gave as much as he took away in that one, and the rest of the derp was all me, basically. So this gun is still capable of doing, you know, a fair amount of damage, but I think the days of 10k damage in a battle are probably gone, unless you get super lucky. I don't know, but that was just the right combination of circumstances in that one, and a bit of luck as well. So if you enjoyed this video and this look at the post-nerf Death Star, you can hit the like button. You can leave any comments below sharing your thoughts on the state of this machine now. You can subscribe to my channel. You can check out my other videos, my Facebook page, my Twitter. And as always, stay tuned for more.